Hello and welcome to episode 39 of our Final Fantasy Endwalker playthrough 14. I've just had tea, I should have a breaking in sound mind, but apparently not now. We are guiding these little friends around while other people do far more important tasks. Oyonji appears to be tallying the Loperits in preparation for an immediate departure. Nathan, I trust thy time at Males Agronautics did bear fruit? Our own efforts too were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guests' relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them and us for a fortnight. Alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Charlie and Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every Loperit here, should further questions within my power arise. Ah. What did Growingway want? I saw them all leave, and as I was preparing to teleport, and then noticed Growingway was still here. Clearly something's on Growingway's mind. Oh, no, there was no place in particular I had hoped to go. I simply wish to see, hear, feel, and think as much as I possibly can while here. What's that for? What did I say? That was ever so delightful, and with this much information I can fine-tune the moon's environs? That's not environments. Environs for your people's comfort. It's surprisingly tricky to estimate the appropriate temperature settings for beings so lacking in fur. Why did I not ask Jabrik? Excuse me. I will mute myself if I remember. I have just had tea. That'll be why. The tea was good. Why didn't I ask Jabrik how to make carrot muffins? We could have had baked goods bustling with happiness. The Loperit wants for activities and stimulation, but I struggle to conceive of how to busy them whilst we wait. Yes, Nathan, that was indeed me verbalizing a sigh to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data from Etheris at Logisticon Alpha. That's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that? Pretty much. The black shroud is quite leafy indeed, a place of utmost tranquility. They're verdant at least. The trees in Dravania sound particularly proud. You should see the forests of the first. One was purple. These are all good answers, but they're all going to go to the same place. We'll still go with the purple one first, because it is the prettiest. Gasp! Gasp, I say! With a star so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume the moon was something worth being proud of. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard, yet achieving so little. Not at all. Thy works are no less worthy for their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Thancred. How didst thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here. Despite news of the coming end, we have the forum's leadership to thank to that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurried to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death, and we can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Perhaps not, though aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I am honoured that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure that I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in the need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with him. Tis as good a place as any. Come. You'd best go with them. I don't think Urianger misjudged him, but Growing Way doesn't look like he could, or does look like he could use some emotional support. I still have work to complete elsewhere. I trust that I won't return to find any lockpicks and tears. Oh, can I help you? It is you who would help me. Is my anxiety truly so obvious? A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray, tell us thy troubles. Those little fellas do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see. And what they say of the ship is that the sum of decades of Sharlayan ingenuity that is built with peerless Allagan technology. It's all true, but I know that none of that is a guarantee. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown it into the great expanse. All the tests we have run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage, but even so, if it fails us, then what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart in the next flight, or the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the ether burner design was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou art familiar with this most daunting technology, and thus dost thou hold the power to ail his fears. Oh, I'm not sure about that, but well. Maybe you could tell me if there's any aspect of the ship's design that you're especially worried about. Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks, for one. I've derived a means by which to employ gravity, I imagine it's spatial temporal spell to regulate the environment. But what if that's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we've left the star? Ah, gravitation. Maybe I can be of help after all. Up there, it's not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply. And if you consider them as parts of one great big cosmos rather than separate places... Problem solved. I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Yet, if Thancred's tale be true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might I prevail upon the Loprits to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is naught we'd like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Aetheris, and learn more about them while we're at it. Full glad am I to hear. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Nathan, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succour. Pray, seek out the distressed and the apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them here, that I might introduce each to a suitable Loprit. You can count on me, as always. Oh, I do look forward to that. A place for every Loprit, and every Loprit in their place. Let's go round up some people. Although it is expecting me to go everywhere to find them. If only I could fly, that would make searching for them so much easier. 56 bunches of wheat on the ground, 56 bunches of wheat. Rip one out, add it to the mound, 55 bunches of wheat in the... Eep! I'm not neglecting my duties, I swear. I was in need of a little break, you see, but then I found myself unable to relax at all. So I went for a walk, and then I noticed these weeds. Did it actually say weed, not weeds? It did say weeds. My apologies, I said weeds. Pleasant conversational partners. Oh, and so fluffy. Goodness me, that does sound like a much better way to relax. God, we've got to find 8 of these guys. Hyperventilating engineer. By the gods, my chest is tight. Am I dying? Is this what dying feels like? Oh, do pardon me. I didn't see you there. There's no cause for concern, I assure you. No cause for concern. Everything, even though we may need to depart at any moment, and if the hull I designed buckles under the strain, the entire vessel may explode and launch, claiming countless lives and dooming all of mankind. That's highly unlikely. Yes, highly unlikely. Highly... Oh, visitors you say that can help me triple check structural flaws, you say? Why, that'll be wonderful, and even more easy already. Let's find 6 more. I imagine there isn't one up here, then. The circle just extends this far out because it's a circle. There's another one down there. Harried Aetherologist. Blasted assistants, where have they gone off to at a time like this? Beg your pardon, but I have no time for idle chit-chat. I need to reconfirm that ether levels are consistent throughout the vessel's machinery, and it seems I shall have to do so single-handedly. I swear, when I find those assistants of mine... The Loprits are willing to help? Why didn't you say so? At least they won't moan about how they checked 24 times already and haven't slept in weeks. Lazy sods. I think you may be a little overcommitted to your work, but I suppose being safe and sure is better than throwing caution to the wind. Grimmer and naturalist. My face? What's wrong with my... Ow, perhaps I'm a bit tense. I was tasked with ensuring the proper fauna, and only proper fauna, were brought with us to the moon. However, the suitability of a few species is still under debate, and I can hardly make the decision myself when I know so little about the environment up there. Including the Lopwits in our discussions is a wonderful idea. I absolutely will, thank you. Perhaps their biology itself might offer some clues as well. 4 down, 4 to go. Here's another one. There's one over there as well, but I imagine there's... so that we can see 3 of the 4. Pondering mathematician. Consulting our collaborators? I suppose that would be more efficient than sitting here brooding. I'm attempting to calculate how much cargo we can consolidate into fewer trips. Should the Aether burner make our original estimates unfeasible. But there's simply too many variables. I feel as if my brow will turn inside out. But perhaps our lunar associates will have more insight as to how to weigh how much weight constitutes too much weight for our purpose. Thanks for letting me know. How may I be of help? My, what a lovely idea. I too noticed people becoming rather tense, so I rushed out to pluck some fresh and fragrant tea leaves. Now I need to track down 100 or so cups. But don't you worry, I can manage. I hope your plan to cheer everyone up goes well. This woman is doing better than you are. Oh, she doesn't count. They wouldn't. Actually, who am I kidding? They absolutely would. See? They absolutely would, the annoying buggers. Although they're calm. Worries. No, I believe I'm fine, thank you. I've been confiding in my college and it's helped a lot. Can't recommend it enough. This researcher has already all the support she needs. So we're still missing 3. Skeptical researcher. There's another one. Have you heard anything of what's on the moon? I have no doubt that we can make it up there, but the searching for new star part of the plan sounds awfully vague to me. I asked the forum, but they will only tell us that our collaborators have everything under control. Forgive me, but I don't feel particularly safe wandering through the sea of stars on God's knows what, made by God's knows who. You mean to say that I can speak with them directly? Amazing! I hope they like questions. They most certainly do. You will find them most amicable. If that pronunciation is correct. Is anything bothering me? Well, I've been loading cargo for bells now, so my back feels like a void scent played it as a piano. My feet and knees are drums and cymbals too. This cleaner seems fine, if in need of a break. So we're still missing 1. We haven't checked over here. Leave me to my misery. The forum can appoint someone else. I apologise, I simply don't know what to do. How am I supposed to pilot the Ark if I'm already falling apart under the pressure? You know, a starship pilot that I might speak with? Truly? Well, then, there's no time to waste. They can help prepare me for this monumental task. 1 more to find. And 1 more area we haven't checked. Oh, we also didn't check here. This works. What am I thinking about? The medical facilities on the ship, of course. I designed them to assist with our sages and cryogens. But to imagine every illness or injury that one might face in the great expanse is beyond any of us. To say nothing of the effects that living out there indefinitely might have on the body. The crew from the moon? Why didn't I think of that? Hey, that wasn't as onerous as it could have been. It still took a while though. We're all done. Nathan, he said he was glad to speak. We spoke. I think, and he thanked me. It was all worth it after all, wasn't it? Even the mistakes we made, because now we can tell them what not to do. Look at all the bunny people, or the little bunny people, talking to all of the taller people. Is there a taller bunny person over there? I see cat people. They are not talking to any larger bunny people. Behold, Nathan, through thine efforts word hath spread throughout Labyrinthos. Verily, to a far greater number than we anticipated. Living Way does gather more Lopritz as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skills, that new bonds of friendships might be forged. Should greater matters require not thine attention, watch over them, I prithee.
So much in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
Twould behoove you to consult with Sleeping Way. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
I foresee a problem.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Atheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge. When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that, were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt. Master Louisoix, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget.
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we can pretty much guess who that is. That's Moonbreeder's parents.
Wilson and Blovida, Charlian's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moonbreeder's parents.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Lavida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
I'll say, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where.
She was worried.
Do you have any idea how worried we were?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know, we always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while. Arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better. I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy, our daughter, trusted and believed in more than anyone, grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
I think I can feel her too. The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
This moon breeder. She was important to him, wasn't she?
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing. And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
The transition from that scene to this music. Could they not have kept the music calm for just a little bit longer until after we finished the quest? Or left the area? We spent so long gazing at the star, or at this star, wondering and hoping. But to be here now, to walk among the people, to be part of their lives and know that we've made a difference, it's so much more than I ever dreamed. I assure you that my fellow Lopfits are equally excited to have this opportunity. They were humming the whole way here. All of them are going to do it. Goodness me, I've never felt like this, like there was too little time before. There are so many people to talk to and so many things to learn. I was so busy asking questions about Aetheris that I never thought to ask more about Urianger. I'd like to, but where would I begin? Remind me to invite Urianger for a drink when we have a moment to breathe. We're long overdue for one. We can raise a glass to Moonbreeder. Oh, you must be one of the Scions, correct? Thank you for taking care, or thank you for caring for my daughter. The time she spent with you was all too short, but I know she was proud to have you as comrades. Urianger is too, I'm sure, and I certainly feel better knowing that he has good friends to look after him. See that he comes home from time to time, will you? The classical Rogadan language isn't so different from Eorzean. Did you ever wonder why we name our daughter Moon? Did you ever wonder why we named our daughter Moon's Bride? When I first held her, the moon was shining silver and full. The whole world seemed aglow, and I knew it had chosen her, that she would be a beacon of that self-same light. Of course, we later heard our fair share of jokes about how we ought to have gone for Sun instead, with how bright and stubborn she was. But fiery as Moonbreeder was, she was always kind and gentle. Just in case I need her. Oh, Nathan, be assured that I am fine. I am. Full glad am I to see them too. After so very long, gladder still that it was your company, in your company. After as difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. Plenty of time for another episode, and we are now one level before we hit max. Quests still haven't caught up, but that's fine, they very well might. I didn't read that. Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to Loppets. Not disposed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so I shall remain to aid them as needs be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Alize. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. I could go myself, but we both know that whose help she would less like to scorn. Not to mention that, much to my misfortune, I can think of several other things I ought to be doing. Until later. Basically, if anyone other than us goes to help her, she'll just turn around and say, I can take care of it myself, thank you very much. We now have 3 Aethercone quests. I will do them after this episode. Which means I need to be paying attention to the remaining Aethercones. I will see you at the next quest or the next current, whichever happens to be first. We have arrived. It appears we may have actually missed one. There may actually have been one up here, but I thought I'd checked. Never mind, there is one in this, somewhere around about here-ish. Squeal, squeal. Okay. Nathan, what are you doing out here? No, I don't mind if you help me with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting tasks. Are you sure? Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Aporane. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphino should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Deliver the crate samples to Alphino. You'll have 3 minutes to complete the task. Now go select the peacock, select the crates. Away we go. We must not jump. Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You can put that there with the others. You have my gratitude, but how did you come to be involved this time, or in this? And I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Amaporia to begin with, so was I. As it turns out, this is the base of operations of sorts, with those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. That should be everything. You carried all of that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh hush, they're lighter than they look, and not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we're finished. Theopoldin is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance, at least. Considering where we are, we might learn something interesting. Let's see if we can learn something interesting. But before that, there is an Aetheryte standing in front of me, or between them and me. Oh, and a chocobo keep. This exclamation point must be erased. Because it's not like I'm going to come back and do all the other quests. Sadly, I ain't got time for that. Clicking a button to remove a single exclamation point, more than happy to do that. I keep thinking that I've seen him elsewhere, but I can't for the life of me remember where. If it wasn't dark, maybe I could tell you. This must be Theopoldin. He does look vaguely familiar, and I can't place him either. Gods, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you? We brought the samples from Charlie and Hamlet, Series 110, the created by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I'd expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment, you're Fortuno's children, are you not? Alphino and Alice, at your service. You're well acquainted with my father, I take it. Quite, I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studium. I remember you when you were ye-high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly it's been quite some time since we've met. It is good to see you again, wielding your father's no-lifts, no less. You knew our parents, when they were young? What were they like? Pray spare no details. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and realms of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that, in exchange for some sort of story of our parents. In exchange for some sort of story our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happens to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about each of you take one? You each take one. Wait right there. You'll find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Alphino and Alice, I'm certain they'll be back soon enough. Oh, no need to worry about them. Southernmost structure, so we're talking about that one there. This is strictly speaking not the right one. Ah no, it is the right one, because that's not a structure. That's a water tower. Are you not one of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the Aether Burner. The nature of this paperwork is not a particularly well-guided secret, but due to how dull it is to read, you will nevertheless remain largely unknown. Theopold's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeking these documents to my hand. As for your other task, pray, keep this between us, but I sincerely hope your scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and we must be... and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Sharlayan has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to... Twould be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stem your pursuit of truth. Quick and efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returned at any moment. We return with not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes, and that's quite enough of that. Thank you. I was composing, or it was compromising stories of our parents that we seek to hear. To reiterate. Got there in the end. Of course, of course. I've known your father for so long. I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Levier names grandeur, in such respect, or gandered such respect in Charlian, is your family's storied history. You two can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Nanis Kernus Hope. I forget the pronunciation of that. A lineage few can claim. I never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded the nation, they were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. 'Tis why Nanclef's proclamation, renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason, has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, aye. Archon Louis Soir looked not to Nanclef's words, but his deeds. He asserted, in defiance of his peers, that choosing to save the great and small, from the rising tides were the true marks of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecies and the fall of civilizations, that led him to conclude that to ensue conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict, and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it's indolence. You remember his words well, indeed. Archon Louis Soir lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succour to those in need, Charlian or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fortuneau could not reconcile Louis Soir's deed with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, somewhere between the two. Yet made a prior of his father. Fortuneau agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is this not always thus? God knows Fortuneau is a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads over often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that it's not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born, barely recognizable. He was with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you. He loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course, no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me in too much trouble now. I need the form on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to get back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak then, or we can speak again later. Hail, you three! Hi, Graha. Graha, surely Con Colon hasn't driven you out of the forge already? For better or worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than a single pair of hands, and here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alize and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you, Nathan? Can you spare the time? I have no pressing tasks at hand. Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Alright, just checking something. Yep, didn't think so. Anyway, we are going to call it there for now. Let's have the building behind us. Yeah, we'll call it there for now. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Between now and next episode, which I am still going to record today, it's not quite 8 o'clock, it's 7:30. I will get these 3 Aether Current quests done, and I will find the remainder of these 3 Aether Currents. So we are ready to fly. Not that we'll have any use to fly, but I like to have flight ready by the time I'm done in a zone. It makes it particularly handy when I come back to level my crafters. Anyway, thanks again for watching, hope you enjoyed the show, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheerio!